Hey, Jeff here. Most of the time when people think of the fast food place McDonald's, they think about America. I mean, the stereotypes just go hand in hand. In my health class in high school, they had us watch the movie Super Size Me as a warning to not eat too much McDonald's. Not a warning to not eat McDonald's at all, but just to eat it in moderation. But today, we're not going to be looking at the USA for these reviews. We're going to explore the world from Canada to Germany to Japan and a bunch of countries in between.
Disclaimer.
Some of these reviews are from non-English speaking countries, so they have been Google translated, so you have to take it with a grain of salt, but the gist of it is there. Grab yourself your favorite McDonald's meal and hit that like button, and let's just jump into those reviews. We're going to start our journey off in the United Kingdom in Yellville, England. I hope I'm saying that right, because I probably am not. It has a population of 49,698 people, so a pretty decent sized city. So let's check out one of the McDonald's there. The McDonald's here comes in with a rating of 2.9 on 882 reviews, so that is not good, but it is above half, so that's good, right? I'm trying to be optimistic. Alright, let's see how bad it is. Sharon comes in hot with a longer but very British review, so let's read it. Over loud youths on something. Upsetting the customers sat down wanting nothing but to eat there with their children in peace. The atmosphere volatile and fearing. What a sad end to a beautiful evening. The staff try to manage the situation, but don't have a foot to stand on. In previous need of police, they ailed then miserably. Sadly, due to the fuss these two youths caused, they ruined orders and caused people to leave earlier than planned. They should be ashamed, but drink/and McDonald's aren't a fair mix for other diners. Give your staff security guards, they deserve it, and so do your customers. We don't pay for food and fear, we pay to enjoy ourselves. Sounds like there are some young folks hanging out at the McDonald's causing a ruckus and making it so people could not enjoy their food there, and there were kids present and stuff. That's very uncool, but that sounds very McDonald's, like even in America, but this is the UK version or the British version. So let's keep reading. What else happens here? Let's see what happened to Shanice. They got my order wrong, and when I got home I took a bite of my Big Mac, and no exaggeration, it tasted and smelled like vomit. I nearly threw up myself. I checked the burger and it stank of vomit too, and it stunk out my room, and I was fully convinced someone had put vomit in my burger, but after doing a Google, I learned that it was just Big Mac sauce that had gone off. They served me a Big Mac with gone off sauce. Safe to say I threw the rest of my food away. Will not be eating Mackies again. I read that emoji as the laughing while crying emoji, just personally, but man, Big Mac with Mac sauce being off sounds just terrible. It tasted like vomit, smelled like vomit. I mean, wouldn't it smell like vomit before you even opened it, especially if it made your room smell? Like, if you put that up to your face, you would smell it, right? Or do you just hold your breath? I mean, I would smell it. I've smelled a burger or smelled food before and been like, oh, that doesn't smell good, and I definitely don't put it in my mouth after that, right? Am I alone in that? I'm sure other people are like that. Alright, let's move on to someone who had hopefully a better experience. I don't know, it's a 1-star review, so probably not. Alright, moving on. Let's see what happened to A. Like others have said, would give 0 if I could. Orders never right. Service is long. The burger looked atrocious and has definitely made my partner and I ill for 2 days.
Worst place.
So the burger looked atrocious and they still ate it and they got sick. I don't understand this. I mean, if you pay $7 for something, I guess you better eat it even if it's gonna make you sick. Let's see what sort of mark McDonald's left on Mark. Empty tables left dirty. We were forced to choose a table based on how clean it was. We had to ask a member of staff behind the counter to clean the table before use. Floors dirty everywhere. No napkins in the only dispenser in the restaurant. Burgers arrived cold and had to be sent back. Used the toilet and found the cubicle is in an awful state. Also, I noticed the red mop bucket in the kitchen area, which as I understand is for toilet use.
Not.
Kitchen. I don't expect much from any McDonald's restaurant, but this is the worst I have visited. It really sounds like the staff here have a lack of control and care for the restaurant. I mean, if the bathrooms are dirty and the kitchen has the bathroom mop in it, that's kind of gross, but I'm not going to cast judgment from the other side of the pond here. I can't throw a stone that far. Oh, jeez. Alright, well, let's move on to the next McDonald's. Let's fly over east or west, I guess. You could fly either direction to any of these places because the earth is round, to Gotemba, Japan. So let's see what goes on in Japan. So these ones are Google translated, so hey, Let's see what happens. It is a city of 88,370 people, and this McDonald's has a 3.3 rating on 873 reviews, so a lot of reviews and a little bit better than the last one. So let's go read those 1-star reviews. We'll start the review off with the person known as Owl. Wrong order again. Are you listening carefully? It's already my 5th time. I think it would be better to drive through a little more and listen properly. Samurai Mac, not what I ordered. I ordered tomato, bacon, but the wrong Samurai Mac was included. I think it would be better to educate the store manager properly. If I make a mistake next time, I will complain to headquarters. I'll hold out until the 5th time.
Fooled me once. Shame on you.
What I gathered from that review is that their order's been wrong 4 times, and if it happens one more time, they'll go to headquarters. But man, 4 times having your order wrong, how complicated is their order, or is it really that big of a deal? I don't know. A little frustrating, but not, I don't know if that's 1-star review frustrating. Let's move on. From an owl to a cat, let's see what happened to them. I was surprised that there was so much ice in the large-sized drink. It felt like there was only about as much cola as a can of coffee, but the clerk was kind. Included is just an absolute beautiful picture of a cup of ice. You can see the ice is almost to the top, but I feel like that's like a typical amount of ice at McDonald's drink, because they just they pack that thing full of ice, because then there's less soda and they make more money. It's like a scheme I've known since I was like 8 years old, and I'm a lot older than 8 now, so yeah, come on, cat. Well, I guess they are a cat. That's my bad. I'm sorry. I should give them a benefit of the doubt. If I was a cat, I wouldn't know that. Moving on from animals to single letters, it's time for M. I ordered the Big Mac set. What surprised me was that there was no burger patty on the 2nd tier, only cheese. I was surprised because I've never experienced anything like this at Mac overseas or at a Mac in Tokyo. I won't go again. The Big Mac is already a disappointment when you order it because there's just so much bread. It feels like you need more meat on it. Like if it had like a 1/4 pounder patty on it, it'd be good, but that Mac sauce is pretty tasty, but it's not worth all that money, not at all. But I can understand if you had only cheese on how do you forget the patty? How do you put cheese with no patty? Saboteur. Did they forget Matt's food, or is it rotten? Let's find out. Eating and drinking inside the restaurant in the morning is the worst. All part-time workers were concentrating on the drive-thru, making the store extremely crowded. You can go to another Mac without thinking, order in seconds, and receive it super smoothly. What I want to know is if he knows you can go to a different Mac and order in seconds without even thinking. You can just go in there and it just happens and you get your stuff. Why not go to that other Mac instead of going to this Mac, you know? Like if I knew a place was always crowded and busy, but another place like 5 minutes away wasn't as busy, because I mean, it's a Mac. They're all over the place. I'm just saying Mac because he said Mac. But, you know, it's kind of one of those things, but I think it's just a lost in translation situation, which is going to happen all the time on this video, which is fine with me. Let's move on to another McDonald's in Mexico. We are in Durango, Mexico, to be more specific, with a population of 1.8 million people. It's a huge city compared to the last two. And this McDonald's has a 4.1 rating on 2,703 reviews, so it's a very frequented McDonald's. So let's see what happens here. Up first is Roberto. Bad service. I got a raw hamburger. I told the supervisor and he didn't even apologize. Due to the rush of my bus departure, I just left him the raw hamburger and left. My childhood best friend, who was also my neighbor growing up, worked at McDonald's for a few years, and it would be very, very hard to make a burger raw, so there is either a really bad worker there or the equipment is failing, but let's see what else goes on. Carla's experience would have traumatized me. Let's see what happened. I went to order and asked to speak to the supervisor, and he laughed in my face. He was making fun of what I ordered. Don't go to this McDonald's. They have terrible service. Even if you ask for extra things and you want to pay for them, they don't accept it. I asked to speak to him, supervisor, and he is a person who is not prepared for his position. I do not understand how they are given these positions. Now, my experience with this is over a decade ago, but when you could go to the McDonald's my buddy worked at, there was a good chance a person who was quote-unquote in charge was under the age of 18. Just saying. So these people who are supervisors and stuff probably don't really deserve it. They're just like the most senior employee who shows up the most often and most consistently. But yeah, let's move on. Alan works for a delivery app company. Let's see what happened. It is not recommended to place orders by app in this branch. They leave lower ranking employees to work alone while managers are distracted by personal things. If any of the real managers read this, pay attention to the staff in charge of this branch. The people who are supposed to teach and support the workers do not show up when required. Alan included a picture of about a half a dozen people standing outside with DD food, which must be like the DoorDash version in Mexico, and just waiting for their orders. And it looks just, oh man, it's anxiety inducing for me. Like, look at all the people standing and waiting. It's just a clogged up of people. They're probably getting messages like, where are you at? These people are waiting. They get paid on how fast they do these deliveries. My chest. No, I'm just kidding. I'm okay. I'm just teasing. But man, that would stink. Yeah, I understand what Alan's talking about. Next up here we have G. Old and dangerous seats. Lack of maintenance to the place. They were courteous enough to leave us a picture of the dangerous seats. You can see how the bottom seat there is sagging down a little bit. I think that's the dangerous seat. I can see how that fall could hurt your butt a little bit. So yeah, that is pretty dangerous. But no, in all reality, if an old person sat on that and fell, boom, a hip broken, complications, unalived. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, that'd be terrible. But all right, let's move on. We're going to take a plane out of Mexico and fly to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Population of over 7 million people. This McDonald's has a 3.8 star rating on 3,543 reviews. That's a lot of reviews, so let's go read some. We'll start this McDonald's off with N. Good evening. We experienced bad treatment. One of the personnel in that area, the cashier, is not accommodating. They are fighting in front of the customer. The food is cold, especially the burger. Thank you. We have been there this day, December 13th, 2024, around 6:30 p.m. Another McDonald's where they get a cold burger inside the store and also fighting in front of the customers. Like, that sounds like an American McDonald's or a Waffle House. I don't know. All right, let's see what else goes on. Up next is Reina. Misbehaving with customers. Please don't come here. Rude staff with people who came here. I am very disappointed. Wow, you need two hands to count how many sad faces that was. That's how disappointed Reina was. Man, that really does stink. They don't need to be misbehaving in front of customers. Like, why do you go to work and fight people? Well, unless you're an MMA fighter, you don't need to go to work to fight people. That's just bizarro, especially at a McDonald's. Omar had a bad burger and included a picture. Let's read about it first. My order was Big Tasty Mushroom. However, it was a quarter of an hour late, so I expected the order to be in order. The meat is so crusty. Big Tasty sauce, a slice of cheese, and how many pieces of mushroom were thrown in one corner of the sandwich? The bread had dry edges and was not fresh at all. That picture of the burger might be the most disgusting burger I've ever seen at McDonald's in my life. It looks just terrible. We don't have a Big Tasty mushroom here, but I remember the Big and Tasty sandwich back in the day. But man, that looks terrible. I'm sorry, Omar. Ugh, waiting a half an hour late on that. I would just like spike it into the garbage and just go somewhere else. All right. Speaking of Big Tasty, that's what we're gonna call the next reviewer. Unfortunately, I took a Big Tasty meal. The meat was not cooked, and the edges of the piece had strange bulbs that looked like exhalation. The employees annoyed them with very bad manners and words, raising their voices, saying, "You cursed person, you fool, may God curse you among them." I for sure think part of this review was lost in translation, but it was still a good review. The meat was not good and tasty. Again, it was all bubbly. Kind of looked like a piece of burger, like a hamburger from my high school back in the day when we'd have hamburgers. They'd have all these like bubbles in it. It was gross, but you know, they kind of tasted good. Ugh. Yay, American lunches. But yeah, I like that last part, the "you curse person." Like, yeah, I want to know what that actually was, but I'm not going to go back and try to find the original. Yeah, I have no idea how to read Arabic. I'm sorry. Next, we're going to head over to Germany, to Bad Dreiburg, Germany, or as I would read it as Bad Dreiburg, but I listened to the translations, Bad Dreiburg, so I know I'm saying that wrong, but yeah, it is a town of 19,496 people, and this McDonald's has a 3.4 star rating on 1,813 reviews, so a little bit lower than the last one, so let's go read some of these bad reviews. The first review comes from Arturo. Hello, we had dinner there with the family last night, but what I saw really shocked me was that there was a woman with long red hair was physically violent towards a guest in the service. For my protection of my children, I will never enter the store again. I'm either very lucky or very unlucky, depending on how you want to look at it, but I've never been at a fast food place and witnessed a fight, even from the staff or people in the parking lot or anything like that. I've had a very mundane life when it comes to that. I've heard stories about it happening, and this has happened there. There's a lady with long red hair fighting people in the service. I don't think it meant like people who were in like the actual military service. I think it was just meant like people in the lobby, but oi, that's not good. Let's see what happened to Mark. Unfortunately, things are getting worse in this McDonald's. It's never really been that good. Unfortunately, since the owner changed, things have only gotten worse. If competition comes around at some point, I'm pretty sure this branch will go bankrupt very quickly because the service and quality are now terrible. There are still a few nice employees who I am happy to see because then I know the food will be good and the service was friendly. My visit today really put the crown on the raw meat on a burger. I was really very concerned about it, and the response to my complaint was very unfriendly. Mark was friendly enough to leave a picture, and you can see how raw his meat was. I've never seen a burger like that raw from McDonald's. I've never even heard of someone getting a raw burger from McDonald's in America. It looks just terrible. I would be so upset if my burger came back like that. So I feel bad for Mark. That's very raw, very gross. Let's see what happened to Kevin. Good evening. Yesterday I had dinner there with my girlfriend. At first, everything was great, but what we saw was enough for us to never enter this store again. How can it be that employees can get physical with guests and they are beaten? So many people saw it and some filmed it. It was the last time for us. What is going on at this McDonald's? Why are people being beat up? I don't understand. Unfortunately, none of the video of the people getting physical is included in this review. Sad. Does anyone get physical with Trapper? Let's find out.
Worst McDonald's experience ever.
My friends and I had to wait a long time for our food, and when it arrived, my burger was cold and dry, and the nettle potatoes were like yesterday's leftovers. But the worst thing about it were the 2 mosquitoes in my food. I'm not too sure if it's like a translation thing or not with the mosquitoes, but a dry and raw burger with bugs in it? Like, who is this guy? The health inspector from SpongeBob? Gross. Oh man, it's disgusting. Our next stop is Osoyoos, British Columbia. Osoyo, sitting with a population of 5,556, it's the smallest city of all of the cities we've done so far. The McDonald's here has a 3.4 star rating on 952 reviews. That's a pretty good amount of reviews for that population. This is like a border town in southern Canada, and Lake Osoyoos, or Osoyoos Lake, is quoted as being the warmest freshwater lake in Canada because it is pretty far south, so it's like the only spot that actually has sun. I don't really know, but let's go look at that McDonald's and see how bad it can really get. We'll start off our Canadian adventure with Angie. No, not because I do this in alphabetical order. I do it in a random order, kind of, sort of. I'm not telling you. Fries taste like they've been out there all day. Gave my mom a plain cheeseburger when she just asked for a cheeseburger, so it had nothing on it.
Horrible food today.
0 star if I could for the food today. Normally, it isn't this horrible. I love the last line so much. The food isn't normally this horrible. Like, yeah, it is normally horrible, but it's not this horrible. But those fries look terrible. I have a picture of the fries up now, and yeah, they even look bad. How can fries look bad for McDonald's? They're French fries. You can't smell them or anything. You can just look at them. Next up is a fellow Jeff, which reminds me, hit that like button and subscribe if you made it this far. Let's see what happened to Jeff. I come in here for my daughter's birthday, order $50 worth of food, forget to ask for 2 packs of McChicken sauce, and these idiots charge me 40 cents. Not happy with the service here. This is McDonald's, not the Keg. 40 cents for 2 packets of lard? Not impressed, Ronald. Not impressed. Jeff calling out McDonald's by their first name, calling it Ronald. So they forgot 2 packs of McChicken sauce, which is like a different sauce that we don't get here in America, at least not where I live in America. But he had $50 worth of food and they didn't put the McChicken sauce in there, so he asked for 2 packets and they charged him and he throws a fit about it. Yeah, I get it's 40 cents and you had $50 worth of food, but did they actually forget it, or is it an add-on? Did you have something that should have it in there, or do you have to have it added on? I'm not too sure. This might just be an entitled guy named Jeff, so I do not claim him as part of the Jeff Club. Let's move on to Pete. Ordered a pancake breakfast, and the pancakes were literally pulled out for the fridge because they were colder than the ambient air. But he forgot to nuke them in the microwave. I was already on the road when I opened the container. Next time I'll check before driving away. Friendly staff. I really enjoy pancakes, but I'm more of a waffle guy, but I really don't care either way. But cold pancakes are disgusting, especially with syrup on them. When you have like that cold pancake and it hits your, it's ooh. Disgusting. But I can understand being really upset. I mean, you go there and they're literally called hot cakes at McDonald's, and you get them and they're cold cakes. Like, someone didn't do their job. Sounds like the person's name was Buddy. Maybe it was Buddy the Elf. No, I know this guy's just calling him Buddy to demean him, but all right, let's see what else goes on. We get an idea of what McChicken sauce is with Milo. They don't even give you a full shot of McChicken sauce on your burger. Then they want 20 cents for a packet of McChicken sauce. Milo included a picture, and you can see there's barely any McChicken sauce, which is that white sauce, but look at the bun. If you're an American, that bun looks like a McGriddle bun or something. Doesn't look like our buns here at all from McDonald's. It's probably a lot healthier, honestly. It's Patrick's turn. Ordered a custom breakfast. Doesn't even come out right. Doesn't have any of the extras on it for what I paid. This is embarrassing.
No extra bacon.
It is so frustrating when you want to put something extra on something from fast food. You know, maybe you're treating yourself for like one time that month and you open up your food and it's screwed up. Oh, it makes you just want to cry. You're like, I just wanted my extra bacon and now I get no bacon. No. No, you know what I mean? This next review is from Danielle. I am so tired of them getting my extra onions wrong
Every time.
and they just throw massive onion on an old burger. Very disgusted. I'm very disgusted with putting extra onions on a McDonald's burger. Ugh. That sounds gross. I like onions on a burger, but more like an onion that you cut up and like put on a burger, not like the McDonald's onions. But yeah, every time it gets messed up, man, this is just a bad McDonald's to go to. So stay away if you're ever in Osoyos, Canada. I can't say any of these names right, but hey, that's half the fun. And with that, you've come to the end of the video, so make sure you leave a like if you made it this far and subscribe if you haven't. Also, make sure you check out my channel for some other videos if you like this one, because there's many other ones on my channel. And until next time, I've been Jeff, and I really, really like you. I hope you want to stick around for more, because I'm going to be making videos for a long time to come. Goodbye.